Well, good afternoon. I thought I'd get back on again today and share with you something. The Lord woke me up last night with the word disgrace. And you may think, why would God give you the word disgrace? And I think the reason He did is because the whole story of the gospel is a story of redemption, of getting us back where we were originally intended to be, even with Adam, getting us back in relationship with God. But got to thinking about dis. I'm from the hood, I'm talking about disgrace. Uh, but no, a lot of words, disdain, disapprove, disbelief, disenfranchise. And I guess the prefix of dis comes from a Latin root which means lack of, not, or opposite. So, disgrace is the lack of grace. It's not grace. And like I said, sometimes we can't really appreciate something until we've lost it, or it's taken away, or whatever. And so, but my mind went back to 1984. 1984 was the year that my world fell apart. But it was a good thing. It was in the absolute sense, not in the immediate. But in 1984 was put into motion due to some choices that I made which were not correct, not right, bad. And that put into motion me losing my positions ecclesiastically. I held a couple. It I lost my church and my ministry. Eventually, I lost my marriage. I lost the fellowship and love of my children. And it was amazing how so many things took place after I made some very bad choices. In fact, it was so bad that I despaired of life. I actually literally thought it would be better to be dead than to be going through what I was going through. Very discouraging. I remember we were trying to restore our marriage, and I nor my spouse was at a place where I think God could really do it. I know I wasn't. But regardless, I was out of the home, living, and I called it the doghouse, a little 4x4 apartment. Very discouraged. And some of the conference officials found out that was there, and they came by, and I was in disapproval. I was disenfranchised, I guess. And they said, we thought you were going to get your marriage to get back together, and we're going to have to pull your credentials. So I was defrocked. I lost my clerical preaching credentials, whatever it was, piece of paper. But I told him, I said, well, at least you waited till I almost got on my feet before you knocked me down again. But I was having a lot of pity parties at that time. But through those circumstances, I got really to the end of myself. There was a song that was sung during a choir program when I was in Bible college. When we've got to the end of our hoarded resources, His giving has only begun. So I left the ministry in disgrace. But now I was a wonderful recipient for His grace. And I'm so glad to tell you that I have a ministry today. Though my marriage was never restored, we were on speaking terms, and I visited her often when she was in the nursing home. And my children, we have an awesome relationship to now. I don't deserve it, but we have a great relationship, and I truly believe they love me and they respect me. But it's amazing. The term that I use often is that God can restore the years that the locusts have eaten. And so it was that I really think I needed to get down to the bottom, the end of myself, before God could really get me to trust Him completely, not lean to my hoarded resources. So the disgrace brought about His marvelous grace in my life, restoring me, redeeming me, putting me back in a place of ministry. And I wouldn't change where I'm at today for all the past accomplishments, whatever they might have been. You see, God is awesome. God is working when you don't think He's working. And I'm just so thankful. The only thing I regret is the hurt I caused other people while I was going through my hell on earth, which I created. That's my only regret. Well, it would have been better if you'd never done that. Well, yes, but God used those tragedies in my life to help me become more reliant upon Him. Without Him, I can do nothing. Nothing. And now the relationship I have with God, I'm so grateful for. I'm thankful that He's led me, directed me, and helped me find my place out of my despondency, my religiosity, my trying to attempt in my own fleshly way to be good. And now in Him I live and move and have my very being. So I'm coming to you today from Studio B, here on the veranda. God, I look at how God has worked in my life. And so many people are struggling today with housing, with finances, with so many things. And God has blessed me so much. I don't really have any worries. I live simply, but I don't have any worries. And I'm so thankful for His grace in my life. And now I'm not in disgrace, but I'm in His favored grace. God bless you all. So if you are despondent, if you're going through a difficult place, I'm here to tell you that God's grace is sufficient. He gives us mercy because he doesn't take us out of this world in that condition. But he gives us his grace, which is his transforming power to work in our lives, to do exceedingly, abundantly, above all that I can think or even ask. Who would have thunk it? But I'm thankful today for God's mercy and grace in my life. Walk with the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords. Be a blessing today. You hear? Amen.